Hey crafty people, it's Tasha here with another video tutorial for Pear Blossom Press. Today I'm playing with the new Snap and Slide interactive element and the Sticky Spots adhesive dots. I've also got a butterfly stencil, layered die cut sentiment and die cut butterflies in different sizes. Okay, let's start with the background. So I've got my stencil attached onto an A2 panel of Nina 80-pound cardstock, and I'm going to blend my colour on from that upper right hand corner. So I've got a large flat brush here which speeds up the process, and I really like how easy it is with this to vary the pressure to get a softer or more intense look depending on what you're after. So I'm concentrating that colour at the top and then gently pulling it out to give me a really natural ombre blend. To keep it looking soft, I'm not adding much pressure, and you can see that I keep tapping the excess ink onto my glass mat. I decided that I wanted to intensify that top right hand corner a little bit more, so I'm adding a slightly darker, sort of dusky toned pink over the darkest area, and then just gently going over the whole panel just to make sure that it's blended before peeling back that stencil to reveal the beautiful butterfly design. Now I want to glitz this up a little bit, so I've grabbed my homemade sparkle spray, which is just confetti white perfect pearls with water in this mini spritz bottle. Now, a couple of spritzes is enough to give a subtle all over sparkle. Now I can set that aside to thoroughly dry and move on to the die cutting. There is quite a lot to die cut for this card, so I'm just going to speed through it and use some of the magic of YouTube. I've got a couple of shades of glitter cardstock that I thought worked well with the inks that I've used, and then I'm going for quite a tone on tone kind of look, so I'm actually just quickly inking up some cardstock with one of those pinks and more of a peachy shade as well, and I'm going to use that to die cut my butterflies from. Now I could go direct to paper with the ink pads and that's going to be much quicker, but I want to keep the softer colour look that I can get by blending the colour on instead, so that's why I've chosen to do it that way. Each of my butterflies will have 2 layers, so I'm cutting the base layer for each from that inked up cardstock. Now I'm securing the die into place with some low tack tape, and then I like using my mini die cutting machine for these little kinds of jobs. I'm using the glitter cardstock for the second, more detailed layers for my butterflies, and I also cut the base layer of my sentiment from glitter cardstock. Now I opted for white Nina 80-pound cardstock for the detailed layer of my sentiment. Now that I've got all of my pieces ready, I can assemble those layered die cuts. Now, I really like these sentiments from Pocketful of Happiness because there's several different ways that you can layer them, but it all cuts out with just 2 dies. You can use the inner pieces like a regular shadow sentiment, but I actually really love using the outline. Now to make sure that it stands out, I have cut it 3 times and I'm layering those up on each other before adhering it onto that glitter base piece. That's just going to give us a bit more dimension. To really make sure that it adheres well, I like to place something heavy on top whilst they're drying. Then I've also adhered my butterflies together as well. Now comes the fun part. So I don't have any dies to create a track for my snap and slide, but I have got these sentiment strip dies which should work great. Now you can even use a ruler and a craft knife if you want to create your own path. I want to make sure that I cut it in the right place, so I like to have a little kind of dress rehearsal, placing all my elements to get an idea of how they're going to fit together on the panel. Then I can use more of that low tack tape to keep my die in place whilst I run the panel through my Gemini Junior. When the card is assembled, I don't want to see like the stark white cardstock behind that track area, so I'm using that panel to position where that track's going to sit so that I can adhere that die cut piece down directly onto my card base, so that's what you're going to see through the track. To attach my snap and slide onto my butterfly, I'm using one of our new sticky spots. They are sized to fit with these and they are the perfect adhesive for this job. The snap and slides are super easy to use. Each one is made up of 2 pieces and you get 10 full pairs in each pack, so they're super great value. Once you're ready to assemble, you just position the front through your track or cutout or whatever, and then the back piece literally just snaps on with a little bit of pressure, and that's all it takes. These have to be the easiest interactive element that you can get. Now, I stuck my panel onto my card base with some thin cardstock behind because I wanted my butterfly to be sitting quite proud of the panel. However, if I made this again, I would use some foam adhesive. It still works as I did it here, but foam adhesive would have given it some more freedom to move a little more. I'm positioning my sentiment to the bottom and then I can adhere my other 2 butterflies in place. Now, I found these perfect sequins in my stash. They've got a peach pink iridescent shift which fits perfectly with the colour scheme of this design. So with that little addition, my card is complete. I love the colour scheme and the spinning and flying butterfly is such a fun interactive element. I'm already thinking up so many ideas of how I could use these handy new tools in my card making arsenal. Why not let us know below how you'll use these in your own crafty adventures? I really hope that you like the card. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I'd love for you to give this video a like and share it with your crafty friends. If you aren't already subscribed to our channel, then please do consider hitting that button. In the meantime, I hope you have a lovely, happy, safe and wonderful week. Stay crafty. Bye.